Hello everyone, I'm Matthew John. I'm a spiritual teacher and intuitive healer. Thank you for joining me. The topic of this video is healing family and ancestral karma. And we finally got a little break from winter over here, so I'm very happy to be able to film this outside. So, what is family and ancestral karma, and why is it important? And what you need to know about it, and how can you heal it. So you're going to learn about all of that in this video, so stay tuned. So family and ancestral karma is something we inherit. We inherit, and you might have heard this term in other places in the spiritual community. Something you inherit from your birth mother and father, and it is also possible to inherit it from an adopted parent as well, and it could be both, because some people, you know, if you didn't know your biological parents, but you were raised by your adopted parents, and they were like mom or dad to you, you can inherit karma from them as well. So, family and ancestral karma is something that is passed down that we don't consciously choose. Okay, it comes in the DNA. You know, when we talk about from the biological mother and father, it comes through the DNA. And when we talk about an adopted mother or father, it would be more of a permeation of energy, meaning because between the ages of 0 and 6, your mind is in a certain state of growth that you're extremely vulnerable to influences on the outside. And who are the people that you spend most of your time with between the ages of 0 and 6? Well, it's either your birth parents, or it's your adopted mother or father, or one parent possibly, you know, whoever raised you. So you can, by permeation, because you're so vulnerable, you can end up absorbing and inheriting their negative patterns. So if you're someone who has more of a complicated birth history, meaning you weren't just raised, you know, like I was blessed to be raised by just two parents who stuck together and are still together, but that's not really the norm anymore, is it, in our society? You know, so let's say you were just raised by your mom, but your father, you never met your father. Still, you are inheriting his DNA. Okay? And then maybe there was another father figure when you were very young, between the ages of 0 and 6, who was helping to raise you, who was dating your mother and was around all the time, and then maybe you're also inheriting some of his stuff, so to speak. And we can spend a lifetime kind of having these patterns that we inherited from these people that raised us, and not really realizing that these aren't really our patterns. That this is just something that you were given without conscious choice. It's almost like, you know, for anyone who's ever been through a chronic illness or is going through a chronic illness right now, you know, and I understand that because this, you know, has been part of my journey as well, is it's not something you consciously chose, is it? It's not something you said, oh, I want to be sick. No one says that. It's something that you were given because of, and there, you know, there's a lot of different factors, because of certain tendencies perhaps in your DNA, because of, you know, perhaps environmental triggers where, you know, you didn't get to choose where you were when that environmental trigger happened, or really, you know, on another level, because of your life plan, you know. And I do those soul plan readings that I know a lot of you guys have done, or have at least, you know, heard me talk about. Those soul plan readings, I read what's going on in your life plan, and why, you know, like something like an illness was really there. You know, what was it meant to teach you, and what were you meant to learn from it, and how were the different interactions with other people, including family, because of that illness? What was everyone supposed to learn? So let's go back to what I'm bringing this back to, is when it comes to your ancestral and family karma, you didn't choose it. You didn't consciously choose it. No one said, oh, I want to take on these negative patterns from my parents who were not very spiritually enlightened or spiritually aligned people, and I want to, spend a lifetime healing this stuff. No one chooses that, but it is part of our journey, and it is part of all of our life plans to have to heal some of this stuff. And the reason that you're even able to become aware of this type of thing and to be able to be watching a video like this, which is, there's pretty high dimensional advanced stuff we're talking about here, is because you've reached a certain level of spiritual development. So your parents, your adopted parents, the people that that spent a lot of time with you when you were young, and a lot of people that of course you still have to either live with or see every now and then, they are not, and definitely were not when they raised you, at any sort of level where they were able to heal their own patterns. Because if they were able to heal their own patterns, it wouldn't be passed down to you. So why do you have these ancestral karmic patterns? Well, in this lifetime, it's because you're meant to heal them. You're meant to be the one that heals them. And it is actually a service work. It is a service work to the rest of your soul group. So what do I mean by soul group? Where there are 12 souls who make up a soul group, which is a branching off of the monad, which is an even higher aspect of the self, right? There's a hierarchy of selves. It's quite incredible. So in this soul group, there's 12 souls that have incarnation after incarnation after incarnation together, and not all souls will incarnate at once necessarily. Sometimes some souls will be up there serving as spirit guides or kind of waiting until the next incarnation, but there's a cosmic intelligence, there's a higher intelligence that really plans out each incarnation so that it will be of the highest benefit and learning for every soul in that group. So for you watching this video in this lifetime, being one who's on the journey and being the one who is conscious enough and spiritually awakened enough to have the opportunity to heal your family's lineage, to heal your family's karma, congratulations. It's not from the perspective of the soul, it's not a burden. From the perspective of ego, it is a burden. From the perspective of ego, you would say, why the fuck do I have to deal with my mom's bullshit, right? I didn't choose it. I'm a little bit more spiritually enlightened than her, and yet I have to deal with it. You know what I mean? From the soul's perspective, it is service work, and it's congratulations that you've reached a certain point in the spiritual journey where you're able to heal this stuff for the entire soul group. For the entire soul group. Perhaps you are the leader. Perhaps you are at the leading edge of your soul group, pushing your soul group forward in that momentum, right? In that soul, in the soul's awakening journey. Because yes, you are on a spiritual journey, but so is your soul, and so is your soul group. So is everything. Everything is on a spiritual journey, except for, if we want to get really deep about it, the one, the source, the universe. But the reason the universe has us experience a spiritual journey is in order for experience to take place, in order for there to be something, a reason for existence. At least that's my theory about all of that. So your ancestral karma is yours to heal because you are ready, because you are the one who is at the forefront of a spiritual journey, and you're able to take it on. You're able to heal it. Not take it on. You're going to take it on anyways, because you can't choose not to take it on between the ages of 0 and 6. It's not possible. No one is able to do that. But you are at a point where you're able to heal it. So, how do we heal it? How do we heal it? Well, I want to really talk about, what does karma mean? What does karma mean? Karma is energy that you take on. Karma is, you might have heard, like cellular debris. You might have heard of like emotional or energetic baggage. And these are all great terms and great ways to think about it. It's like stuff you've taken on. But really, karma means action. Karma means action. So if we want to take a real kind of way out there view, like a higher up view of like how the universe works, is when someone does something that kind of goes against the laws of love, right? Whether it's towards oneself or towards another being, then it accumulates karma because it's action that is not in alignment with the law of love. So when one does act within the realms of the laws of love, then that is a positive karma that heals any negative karma, because we live in a positive universe where positive action is so much more powerful than negative action. This is why the ascension process on this planet cannot fail, because however much darkness there is on this planet, and however much the dark ones continue to try to perpetuate the darkness, the force of light is far too powerful. It's far too powerful. And that's the way the universe is built. It's built so that light heals the darkness, and so that light is so much more powerful than the darkness. So that's why you don't have to worry about us not, us failing on the ascension plan or whatever. It can't fail. It can't fail. There's no need to even worry about it. So, positive action transmutes and heals the negative action. So how do we heal our family and ancestral karma? By acting differently. That's the simplest way. And I know you might be thinking, wow, Matthew, that's a lot simpler than I ever thought about it, or that anyone's, I've heard explain it like that. But that is the truth of it. It's by acting differently. So life will give you opportunities over and over and over and over again in your lifetime. And these are what are called your soul lessons. This is your curriculum in this lifetime. And everyone has a very different curriculum, but sometimes very similar soul lessons, right? And you can watch my video on 3 soul lessons we all must master. Check that out on my Facebook page or on my YouTube. If you want to know 3 common lessons we all must master. There's more than 3, though. I just shared 3 in that video. But you have the opportunity to repeat these lessons over and over again. And you have the opportunity to always act differently. And when you begin to consciously and repeatedly choose to act differently, and this includes choosing to treat yourself differently, this includes choosing to treat others differently, this includes choosing to treat perhaps plants, animals, the world differently than your parents and ancestors were able to do, then you're truly mastering that transmutation of karma. You are actually transmuting that karma, that family karma. It no longer is with you once it has served its purpose. And once you have learned how to act differently than those family members who you inherited that karma from, there's no longer any purpose for it, and it is no longer with you. It's simpler than you might have thought, am I right? So, take stock. How do we apply this practically? Here's the question is, what patterns can I recognize in this moment that I'm still carrying on in my own life that I inherited from my mother, father, adopted father, or whatever figure that raised me, or didn't raise me, right? Or didn't raise me, because even if your father or your mother wasn't there at all during your childhood, again, you're still inheriting their DNA, and there's still a biological and energetic connection there, right? So what patterns am I still carrying on that aren't actually mine, that I inherited but are not actually mine? And when you can separate yourself from that, it's not yours. It's yours to heal, but it's not yours. Does that make sense? It's not yours, but it is yours to heal. And again, from the soul's perspective, that's cause for celebration. That's cause for congratulations that you're able to be at this level where you're able to recognize that, and you're able to actually consciously heal it. And if we expand it even bigger, because everything is of course connected. You know, when you're doing this healing for your ancestral lineage, for your family's lineage, and for your soul group, you're doing this healing for the all too. You're doing this healing for the entire planet. And this is, you know, you can check out my video. I would recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, the 3 simultaneous ascension processes. One of them is this. It's this emotional and karmic healing. And the other 2 are the physical ascension process, and also the process of moving from ego consciousness to soul consciousness, right? And they all happen at once, but you'll concentrate more on one in different stages of your life. So that it is part of the worldwide ascension process, this transmutation of emotional and karmic density. And it also it gets bigger too. Like certain races of human beings have different loads of ancestral and karmic traumas to transmute, right? For example, you know, Native peoples, you know, First Nations peoples or Native Americans or Aboriginals, right? They have their own very specific set of that ancestral lineage that really needs to be healed. And you know, a lot of that is victimization. It's patterns of victimization. They, of course, you know, we're not in the wrong really in being taken over by, you know, the white people or whoever else, the Europeans. But there's a karmic, there's still that ancestral baggage there in a program of victimization. And of course they need to move out. All human beings need to move out of the program of victimization. You know, that's very essential to our ascension process on the planet, is moving out of the program of victimization. You know, we only feel like, you know, we can fail this ascension journey, you know, as a planet, or that the dark ones will win if we're in a program of victimization. The light is far too powerful for that to ever be true. Okay, so that's something that we all work on as well. So also, you're sending this, everything is quantum. You know, we only experience it in linear time, but everything is quantum. So when you're doing this ancestral and family healing, you're sending this energy all the way back through time and healing your ancestors, even the ones you never knew. Another way to consciously work on this is to wish blessings or to pray for the healing of your family members, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, etc., whether they are still incarnated on this planet or not, or whether they're up there in heaven. You can pray for them, and that is an act of self-love, and it's an act of healing for the entire family lineage. Now, the other thing is that there's a trap that can happen where you can feel like you need to heal your parents, or you need to heal your ancestors before you can be healed. And it's actually the other way around. It's you heal this within yourself. It's all within you. It's not about them. It's all about you. You heal it within yourself, and it doesn't necessarily change your experience of them, their experience of you, or their experience of life. It doesn't necessarily change any of that. It may change your experience of them. It may change their experience of you, although that is somewhat unlikely. It probably won't change their experience of life, because every person has a specific healing mission and a specific self-healing timeline, and that needs to be respected. It really needs to be respected. People need to be left to choose when to do the self-healing work and when to change, when to act differently, transmute their own karma. Everyone needs to choose that on their own. So what you can do is to do it in yourself. What you can do, and this is how to do it, is to become a better person on every level than your parents or your grandparents or great-grandparents. More self-loving. And by a better person, I mean more self-loving, more aligned with love towards others, towards the planet, more aligned with integrity of action, acting only from your highest integrity, not sacrificing your integrity for anything. Things like that. Being more spiritually aligned, being more spiritually mature than any of your parents or ancestors. That's how you do it. And then you let them have their own healing process. If your parents listen, if your parents or your grandparents or any family members, kind of over time see that you're on this spiritual journey, maybe they don't understand it, maybe they understand a little bit, maybe you're a Reiki healer or an energy healer or a quantum healer or whatever, and they ask you, about your stuff, or you can even offer to do some work on them, but they have to want it. They have to choose it, or else it's not going to do any good. But that's not really the answer is not in the healing them. The answer is always in healing yourself. It's within you. It's all within you. Okay? So, boundaries. That's the last thing is, it is the most difficult realm to negotiate setting boundaries is with your family, right? It's the most difficult, but it is also the most important, because you might have been able to learn to set boundaries out in the world, in your workforce, in the workplace, with friends, partners, etc., but you might not have learned how to do that with family members. And that's where it's actually most important, because it's most difficult. And by setting boundaries so that you don't feel energetically drained anymore from family members, and you don't feel like you're being taken advantage of in any way by family members, that is actually another act of healing that karma. Because your family members obviously aren't able to set certain boundaries with others if they are being emotionally draining towards you, right? So you, by being the one who is able to set those boundaries, then you're sending that healing back through time and helping your entire family lineage. You might not necessarily see the physical manifestations of that in this lifetime, but the work is being done. And what's important is what's being done within you and how you change. Okay? So feel free to comment below if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube. And please check out my other videos on Facebook or YouTube. And I do offer a lot of different ways that I can help you guys. I have a whole bunch of also free articles on my website, youaredivinehuman.org. I offer a spiritual mentoring program, and this is the most comprehensive transformational program that I offer. I'm really offering you guys the opportunity to really move from where you are now to a much higher level in a very short period of time. And it includes intuitive healing and coaching, where we actually go in, meaning myself and my guides, and with the help of your guides, and use some quantum healing type techniques to heal some of this stuff, to heal exactly what we're talking about, to heal that ancestral karma within you, in an energetic fashion, because of course that helps too. And that's the other thing to mention is, go to your Reiki healers, go to your acupuncturists, your chiropractors, your healers. Or someone like me, if you like the way I do my work, and because it all helps. You can kind of energetically, apologies for the plane above, you can energetically heal some of this stuff, but you also have to follow it up by acting differently after that. So there's two sides to it. So I offer assistance with that in my intuitive healing and coaching sessions, and also the spiritual mentoring program. You also get a soul plan reading in the spiritual mentoring program, meaning I read your life plan and what you're meant to learn from all of your different experiences, relationships, struggles in your life, and where you're going. I'll really read kind of your energetic signature and where you're going. And are you a starseed? Are you an indigo? What does that mean? What are you really meant to offer during this ascension process? And you also get an intuitive nutrition reading in this spiritual mentoring program. This is a comprehensive program, meaning we address physical, emotional, spiritual, and karmic health all at once. And physically, if you're going through any sort of chronic illness, or you just want to really optimize your diet, in the spiritual mentoring program, you get this included. So I'm going to read, with the help of your guides and my guides, read what's going on in your body, what the best diet plan for you, any supplements you might need, and it's all natural, just herbs and supplements, and also meditations, affirmations, and even exercise or yoga routines I'll include in that program. You get a chakra scan, so I'm not just going to say, your solar plexus is open and your heart is closed. No, it's very scientific and intricate, meaning I'm reading the exact spin rate and pattern of your chakras, because it all means something. If your chakra is counterclockwise or clockwise, how wide the spin is, how fast the spin is, is it just vertical. You know, there's so many different possibilities, you know, with how your chakras are spinning, and it all means something. So you get that included in the spiritual mentoring program. You also get, if you're a starseed, if we read that you're a starseed, you get a starseed guided journey. So you actually get to take a journey to your home planet. I just did this a journey with someone yesterday. They never cease to amaze me, these journeys, at how you know, how detailed they can be, and how you can really experience life on your home planet. It's quite incredible. And you get to meet your galactic guides and receive an activation from your galactic guides. So this is all included in the spiritual mentoring program. Check that out on my website. I also am now offering past life regressions. So if you'd like to visit like Lemurian or Atlantean lifetimes, or just, you know, kind of 20th century or 19th century lifetimes, wherever you visit, it'll be relevant to what's going on in your journey right now. And you can actually get, I'm now offering a 5-session spiritual mentoring package, so you get the past life regression session included. And you can get, if the package is too much for you, you know, and I do offer, you know, if you can't afford the full price of the package, you can pay less, just whatever you can pay, as long as it's at least half of the full price. So I'm happy, because I want it to be available to more people. But if you can't afford that, or, you know, let's say it's just too much, your schedule's too busy, pick one, because I do offer these as individual sessions. So, you know, you want to do the soul plan reading, you want to know about your life plan, you want to you have, you know, chronic or mystery illness, you want to get help with that, you know, do that. You want the chakra scan, you want to do just a past life regression. So I do offer these all individually, and I also offer now a future life progression, meaning you go forward in this lifetime to see what your future is like on your highest timeline, and then we figure out how you can get there. And if you're interested in the future life progression or the past life regression, they're not on my website yet. They're right now just for the spiritual mentoring program, but I will offer them as individual sessions if you just either message me on Facebook or email me. Or you can also go to my website, You Are a Divine Human. There's a little chat tab in the bottom right corner, and just click that and you can send me a message there and I'll get back to you. So I can also offer those as individual sessions. So thank you for watching, everyone. And if you're here in the Northeast, in the US, enjoy your beautiful spring-like day. I'm sure snow will be back for us tomorrow. But wherever you are in the world, thank you for watching, and thank you for commenting, and I love you. Thank you.